A senior Chinese justice official in Chongqing, China, was recently executed by lethal injection as a part of a massive anti-corruption crackdown in one of China's largest metropolitan areas. With the help of international lawyer David Day, ThinkTech's Asia in Review will tell that story. David Day, thanks for coming on ThinkTech and Asia in Review. It's nice to have you.
It's great to be here.
I want to know what happened with the fellow who was executed in China for corruption.
Well, this is a very major judicial official by the name of Wen Cheng, and in the major Chinese city of Chongqing. So we're talking about a metropolis now of 20 million people. And he was charged with bribery, rape. He was charged with shielding a number of gangs. So this would be kind of like a Chinese version of Al Capone that was in the judiciary. In this picture, you'll see him with the glasses. This was at his indictment. This is the man in the center there.
He doesn't look very happy.
He's not a very happy camper. He went in for trial this past spring and was convicted. And it has really aroused a lot of people, a lot of anger at the Communist Party.
Why?
Because the judiciary reports to the party. The situation in China has just gotten totally out of hand. And so I'm hoping that the leadership in China is looking around and saying, okay, we finally have to do something about this. And so one way to start is to take down a huge organized crime ring that's run by a senior judicial official. You know, this whole indictment and then the conviction and then the execution this past week.
Oh, he was in fact executed this week.
He was executed. Mm-hmm. They apply a rather swift and firm justice.
It's an odd combination to have a charge of corruption and rape all in the same time. It's just sort of weird. Even Al Capone wouldn't have had these diverse charges. It's like they trotted everything out of the closet, let him have it.
I'm hopeful that what we'll see is this is not just an isolated event, an isolated execution, that this will be something that continues down the road.
Well, it does catch your attention when someone gets executed. That's, that goes
heavy
stuff. You take a pause on that one. So on the one hand, and I would ask you whether this has a notable effect on the level of corruption in the country.
The answer to that is it could, providing they keep the heat on. The leadership has to get committed, and they have to get the helm hard over and hold it over there. And that means this has to be the beginning of a sustained campaign that will probably last a couple of generations.
Here they found a really bad situation, they thought, and in my view, they overreacted and had him killed. If you were sitting in the halls of power of Beijing, you probably would not have recommended that action. You probably would have thought of more soft power kinds of solution, maybe a campaign in the government or in the schools to show people that corruption is not the modern way. So, I mean, the whole thing, to me, is not a step forward. It certainly makes you pause.
It does make you pause.
But it sounds like China of old. How long do we have to wait to see another execution?
We might have to wait a while to see another execution.
You think they'll be criticized in the world press for this? Have they been?
Not yet. It's China. It's their thing. That's the way they do business. And so the world press is kind of laid off of them. Hey, at least they're starting something. Let us pray that they will continue it.
Well, and let us hope that at least for China, that their way of dealing it will work. I'm not so sure that what we did with tax evasion and Al Capone worked all that well. Maybe theirs is working better. We don't know yet. The jury's out.
The jury is out.
If I may.
The jury is out.
Thank you, David. Wonderful to have this insight.
Great to be here.
Really appreciate it.